Sue Wilson. I've got a lovely card for Christmas, a little bit different. It's got kind of that Northern Lights feel about it, and this uses our new luster polishes. So I'll share with you what we'll be using. First off, we have the Shadowed Sentiment. This is called Have the Merriest Christmas Ever. And these are all done separately, so you can put them in any arrangement you want. From the triple layering dies, this is our Christmas tree. And I've got just a little bit of a base I'm going to be using the Stitched Hills and Clouds with, okay? Pop those over to the side. Now I'm going to start with a piece of black card, just basic black card. I always tell people start with something a little larger than you want, so if you don't get quite to the edge, you can trim it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm using the Tantalising Teal, the Blue Allure, and the Bubblegum Luster, okay? So I've got those three colors here. So let me move my trees out of the way. So what you want to do is take your applicators, and I'm just pop each one of these out. And we're going to just kind of do a swiping motion with these to begin with. We're going to add a little bit of color, just swipe it upwards. And this is your Tantalising Teal, okay? And then I'm going to take this little edge here, and I'm going to kind of roll it up here to get some lines into it. So we're going to just build it up and build it up as we go along, and just sort of add a little bit more and just use that edge of it to kind of build those lines coming through. Let me go and put some more of the other colors on. So I've got the Blue Allure, a little heavy there. Let's go like that. Put a few, oops. Put a few more there, some on there. Same thing, I'm going to add just a tiny bit more color to this, and we're going to just use the edge of that and sort of get some lines so it's going to look like rays as you build up the color, okay? And the bubble gum, we're going to get some wild bubble gum going in there. Put that, oops, a little heavy there, like that. Same thing, get that little bit of line look coming through it. Okay, so I'm going to go back through, add some more of the teal, build up some of these colors. So you get a really powerful background coming through, and then the edge of it, just make some rays. There we go. Just move it around, and you get some sort of blending of all the colors coming through too. A little more of that blue. So now I've got like a little place I can hold on to. So I will need to trim this down, but that should give me enough room. There we go. Build all that up. And if you've got any really thick pieces, you can smooth it out a little bit with the edge. Okay, so you can see where that's going. I'm just building it up as we go along. A little bit more of the pink, so we have some just some bright color coming through. There we go. And just give it some rays. And it kind of blends those colors. It's really nice. Now what you're going to want to do is just take a piece of kitchen roll, wipe the edges. I would wash these before I put them away, since you've got several colors that have been mixed. But they are water soluble, so it's just you just tap them, you know, put them under the tap. You also want to take your water squirt bottle and just give them a little bit of a spritz, and that will keep the water in there because they are a water-based product. And water does evaporate, so be sure to do that every single time you use them. Okay, so I'm going to set these aside. Let me tidy up my mess here a little bit. I've got one that's dry, I've done earlier, and I've cut it down to size. So what I want to do now is bring in a little bit of black soot of Distress Oxide and a smoothie, and I'm just going to just give it a little bit of a darker tone around the edge, so it kind of looks like that sky is bursting out from behind that. Okay, all the way around, right into the corners, maybe a little further into the corners. And the bottom is actually going to be covered, so we don't need to go all the way in there, but that does give you that look of kind of a Northern Lights sort of look about it. Okay, pop that to the side, and let me get a grind boss and tidy up our base, because we're going to bring in some white cards, so we don't want to get that messy. And set that aside for a second and dry it off. Use my fingers. Okay, so you can see I've got sort of that northern light feeling coming on from that. So I've gone ahead and I've cut the stitched hills with a piece of white card with a sticky adhesive sheet on it. So what I'm going to do is add some glitter to that. So we are going to bring in our copy paper, pop that open, and peel this away. There we go. I'm going to bring in the Frosted Sparkle Glitterbitz, which has a beautiful frosty look to it. Coat that off really well. Tap that. Okay. Now at the same time, since I have this out and open, what I'm going to do is do my trees. I have gone ahead and cut the layering tree with just the top piece, and then I've done the backing with just a sticky adhesive sheet over it. So I'm not using the center of the layering die for this particular card, which is lovely. You can use it for whatever you like. And let me get this started. There we go. And I'm going to lay this one on top of that. Pop that down. Get that lined up with that. And I'm just going to use the base of this to rub it into place before we glitter it. There we go. Put that one down. I've got one more to do here. We are going to be using 5 trees on this card, so I've done a couple of them already. But just so you could see the technique, I left a couple. Lay this one right on top. Get that lined up nice and straight, and use the backing to kind of make sure it's put down real well. So now what I can do is I can go ahead and fill in all that the exposed adhesive with the glitter on that one and on that one. Get that on there. There we go. So we can tidy this up. Now we've got everything glittered we need. Pop that to the side. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the base, and I'm just going to use a bit of double-sided tape. I think that'll work best for this. Pop that down and turn that piece up here, and tiny bit of glue right into that corner. I didn't get the tape down quite far enough. Okay, so we're going to put that even with the bottom of our card, and it may need a tiny trimming. Let's see. That's not bad. I think just a hair of that has gone over the edge. There we go. Okay, so now I've got our really nice base. I'm going to bring in my backing that I've done, and I've just used a white paper pierced edge with a black mat. Keep it nice and simple. There we go. Pop that right on as my background. There we go, like that. Tidy all these up. So I find it's a little bit easier to do the trees first, and then we'll work the sentiment. So I've got a couple of these that have that we just did with no mounting foam. So I'm going to use a bit of glue and mount those flat onto my card. Sort of one up here, about like that. Give that a second, and one down lower. Get right into that corner there. Put that one right about, yeah, let's put you right about there. Okay, get that started. And then I've got a couple with some mounting foam on the back, and we will put these around. And I think maybe a little bit of glue on there too, since we've got some glitter. I'm going to just put you a little bit off to the side on that one. And we'll do this one a little bit off to the side on the front one. Like that. So you get that sort of dimension coming out. And this one's got just a tiny bit more, one more strip of mounting foam on it to raise it up a little bit more. And then we'll put this one just down a little teeny bit more. So we'll create ourselves a little valley area there. Now the sentiments are done. They're all shadowed, so you can put them in any arrangement you want. I think sometimes the easiest way is to sort of lay them onto your card how you want them and see what you like, and then you can go from there. So I'm going to start with the have, And I think I'll put that right about there. I'm going to try and keep them nice and straight. I've cut the words in the black, and I've used the white as the shadow behind it, so it really pops out against that background. Here we go. Try and keep them nice and straight. So we've got Merriest, about like that. Doesn't look too, oops, push that too far. Hold on, let's see. Keep that nice and straight. Try that. And Christmas. I'm going to sort of center this one underneath there. And Ever. There we go. Not too bad. Looks pretty good. Easy peasy, and you are done. And you have a very different looking Christmas card, but I think anybody would really like to have one like this to put on their mantle, don't you? Hope you've enjoyed this. Our YouTube video has a whole lot more for you to see, and I'm now on Instagram at Sue Wilson Crafter, all one word, if you want to see my cards.